We live in an era of constant, high-speed workplace communication. Every single day, the average professional receives over 120 emails, creating a relentless flood of digital noise. This chart compares two very different outcomes in that daily flood. Over here, poorly written messages see a baseline reply rate hovering around a dismal 11%. But when communication is thoughtfully crafted, that success rate jumps to 50%. That 39% gap is where projects stall and professional relationships begin to fray. When communication breaks down, career opportunities are lost before a project can even get off the ground. The reasons messages get ignored usually come down to a few predictable errors. Senders write vague subject lines, dump massive walls of text into the body, and fail to provide clear instructions on what the reader actually needs to do. To survive the modern inbox, you have to stop treating email like a casual text thread. Instead, you need to engineer every message as a high-conversion digital asset. The subject line is the most valuable real estate in your entire email. Within 2 seconds of seeing it, a recipient decides whether your message gets opened, pushed aside for later, or sent straight to the trash. To guarantee an open, apply the VUCA framework: value, urgency, clarity, and action. Value and urgency communicate immediate relevance, justifying the interruption. Meanwhile, clarity and action set precise expectations, eliminating recipient confusion before the email is even opened. When you optimize all 4 elements of a VUCA subject line, you remove the reader's hesitation. A passive glance becomes an immediate click. Once the email is open, you face the 3-second rule. This is the brief window where a reader scans your message to decide if it requires too much effort to process right now. The 4-part email structure is the antidote to the dreaded wall of text. You open with a tight hook and deliver your core message. Then provide a frictionless call to action and a professional sign-off, guiding the reader without mental fatigue. Imposing this strict structural discipline on your writing shows that you respect the reader's time, and in turn, that protects your own professional credibility. The call to action, or CTA, is the engine of your email. If you leave out a clear directive, the entire communication fails to generate a response. You should stick to a strict rule of 1 ask per email. Dropping multiple requests onto someone's plate creates decision paralysis, and paralyzed readers simply close the tab. A weak ask sounds like, "Let me know your thoughts." It places a heavy burden on the recipient to figure out the next step. A strong CTA removes that friction entirely by offering simple binary choices or exact specific deadlines. Speaking of clear calls to action, if you want more strategies on workplace success and leadership, hit the like button, share this video with your team, and subscribe to Corporate Elevate. Making it easy for the recipient to respond is the single most effective way to multiply your own reply rate. There is a psychological metagame to email. When you get silence from a recipient, it usually means they are busy. It does not necessarily mean they are rejecting your request. You manage that silence with a strict 4-stage follow-up cadence. 2 to 3 days after your original send, bump the thread with a warm, brief reminder. 4 to 5 days after that, send a second follow-up that includes a new value add, like an extra piece of data. If they still haven't replied a week later, send a direct breakup email giving them an easy out. Finally, 2 weeks after that, log a graceful closing touchpoint to keep the relationship open for the future. Sticking to a disciplined follow-up system captures the 70% of potential replies that standard professionals simply walk away from. Of course, even a perfectly written and structured email will fail if it gets buried under a massive weekend backlog or caught in the Friday afternoon exodus. This bar chart tracks average open rates by the day of the week. You can see clear spikes pointing to the highest converting send windows, making Tuesday and Wednesday mid-mornings your prime real estate for outreach. Applying these structural rules results in a standardized approval request template. Notice how the budget and timeline details are separated into clear bullet points, leading directly into a simple binary choice at the end. Relying on proven templates and data-driven timing removes the guesswork from corporate communication. Before you hit send on your next message, run through the checklist. Craft a VUCA subject line, format with the 4-part structure, Demand action with a clear CTA and have your follow-up ready. Refining your communication in this way directly improves your ability to secure approvals and keep complex projects on track, even in a crowded corporate environment. To continue mastering your career trajectory and building your professional toolkit, make sure you subscribe to Corporate Elevate.